Welcome to Game of Roses. This is Survivor PaceCase.
This is Survivor Clues. We've just watched episode 10 of Survivor Season 48. I got to say, this challenge, the immunity one, the blocks, I ain't doing it.
What, Slytherin? In the sand?
I'd do the Slytherin. You know I'd slither like a motherfucker. I'd do the food challenge. That immunity challenge with the blocks.
The spelling. Yeah.
That's impossible.
That's impossible.
It's an impossible challenge.
I mean, it seemed really hard.
I agree.
They were struggling.
It seemed impossible to me. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I would even attempt it. That said, let's get into this.
There's so many you wouldn't attempt.
Basically anyone during the day or that requires me to get in the ocean or to eat something gross or any of that. I wouldn't even be like, they're hugging each other after it and shit, just covered in sweat. I'm not doing that.
Don't touch me.
Yeah.
No hugs.
I don't want to be touched by anybody. I'm going to go sit under this tree in the shade for 28 days. Do not touch me or speak to me.
In your full cowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I will send my vote to tribal council. You can take it with you. I'm not fucking moving because I might sweat or get sand on me.
Oh my God. Well,
any whoozle.
Time to sign up.
Before we jump into this, I must mention this weekend, I'll be at DePaul University giving a talk about how The Bachelor is a sport on Saturday, I think at 3:00. I don't know if that's accurate or not. It's on the website, popcultureconference.com. I'm saying 3:00 because I have some hazy memory of reading that in an email somewhere, but I could be completely wrong. So check the website. Is there a
website people can check for the real details?
Yeah, popcultureconference.com. That's also where you can get tickets to it.
This is near Chicago, right?
Yeah. In the Chicagoland area. So if you're part of the Clout or you know somebody from the Clout or you've ever wanted to visit Clout Town, this is the time to do it, in my humble opinion.
Well, I wish I could be there in the audience, Clues, but I know you're going to do a great job.
I mean, the clips I'm pulling, it's all like it's an hour-long presentation, and I'm like, is this going to be like a 6-hour presentation? Am I going to fuck this up bad?
I hope so.
No, it'll be an hour or maybe even less, and I'll take some questions or something like that. My friend
who gave an infamous 20-minute wedding speech and said, I need 7 minutes just to get them on my side.
Yeah. I definitely need some time to get people on my side, I think. Yeah. But I'm trying to make it funny, and I'm trying to include a lot of historic clips to give us examples of various plays and game mechanics and this and that and the other. And last night, you know what I watched?
What?
This is a spoiler. If you're going to be there, you're going to see this clip. I watched the 2-on-1 of the Ferguson twins. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Haven't seen that in a long time.
Neither had I. And I was like, is it really as bad as I thought it was? It's fucking brutal. He dumps one of them right in front of their mother in their living room.
But at least she's got an STCO built in right there.
He even says that. He's like, the reason that I want to do it here is because I know you've got a good support system here and your mom. Blah, blah, blah. Holy Christ. The show used to be a different damn show. I watched Demi Burnett and Katie Morton beat the shit out of each other in Vietnam for Colton Underwood's pleasure. I mean, it was a different show. Anyways.
Well, speaking of going back in time, Clues and I are doing our new program, Casa Gore, which is basically a Clues Corner combined with the PaceCase Palapa, and we are watching Battle Camp, the new Netflix show. Yeah. But we have decided on our next show, and because we are getting no Bachelorette this season, we decided that we are going to go back to where Gore started. Hannah Brown. We are going to be going through all of Hannah Brown's season on our Patreon, patreon.com/Game of Roses. I cannot wait.
I think it's going to be fun.
You know, I think it's one of the best Bachelorette seasons ever.
Absolutely.
And she's going to be hosting the Champagne Lounge. So we're going to refamiliarize ourselves with the beast.
Exactly. She's coming up in BIP. We don't have a Bachelorette season being created or aired this year. So we thought we would go back and watch not only the one that started Game of Roses, but like Lizzie said, I mean, it's just one of the best Bachelorette seasons that has ever existed. Yeah. The ending of it, the caliber of player that season gave us, Tyler Cameron, pilot Peter Weber, a.k.a. Popeye. Luke Parker, if you want to throw him in the mix. He's at least entertaining, and he makes it all the way to, well, I won't say how far he makes it in case there's somebody out there who hasn't seen this
spoilers.
season. No spoilers. It's only 6 years ago or something. But
Hannah Brown then became the Instagram champion of all time. So
yeah, and still holds that honor.
We're going to see what launched it.
At least in Bachelor Nation. All right, let's move on and start breaking down Survivor Season 48, Episode 10. It begins at night. Mary is ITMing that Tribal Council was a complete shock because David was her number one ally and now he's gone. She's like, all the strong people players,
the bulky hulkies.
The bulky hulkies, she calls them, yeah. They eliminated David and now she's alone. Eva and Mary.
Miss David.
Then talk. I do too. When he fucking came in there and didn't say shit about milk in the jury at the end, I was like, come on, dude. Come in with a glass of milk at the very least, or a milk mustache at the very least.
No, he came in full anger, full serious.
How dare you? I'm going to flex all of my muscularity, clenching my jaw. He just looks so pissed.
My girlfriend's not going to get back with me.
Yeah. You ruined my chances at love. Eva and Mary are talking. Eva says, look, I'm sorry. Mary says, I feel screwed. Mary says she feels screwed. Sorry. Eva then tells her that she's going to try and keep her around. And if Eva is forced to vote for Mary.
She love level wonder.
Yeah. She's like, I like you. And if we are going to vote for you, I will tell you. And Mary says, if I can get your idol, that'd be great. And Eva's like, no, I'm not giving you my idol. You got to try, I guess. You got to make the play if you can. I thought I'm like, does that ever
It's a
work?
very interesting, Star gave it to Eva.
But that wasn't, she did that of her own volition. Eva wasn't like, can I have your idol now, please?
Right.
Star was like, you solved the Da Vinci device.
I mean, maybe allies it has worked, but
yeah.
I mean, you got to try.
Yeah, I guess so.
And Eva's game is so interesting. She's just like, I'm straightforward and honest, and I'm going to get rid of you, but not this week.
Yeah.
So you're fine.
It's rough. It's like watching in Last Kingdom, they do shit like that.
Everything comes back to Last Kingdom.
You have no idea. I am Uhtred, son of Uhtred of Bebbanburg, and destiny is all. That show is so good, and we are like 3 episodes away from completion, and I'm like already sad and just don't want it to happen.
No.
Anyways,
Last of Us and Uhtred? No.
Fuck Last of Us. I have no sorrow about that show. Fuck that. I hope nobody watches it and it gets canceled immediately.
It's already been picked up for season 3.
Mistake. Eva ITMs that she likes Mary, but she's not part of the strong 4 with Joe, Shaheen, and Kyle. She has the power, an idol, and safety without power, and she thinks nobody can do anything about this. In camp, Star tells Mary she got played like a fiddle. Kamilla and Mary then and Star agree that they have to look for the cracks, and Mary says she's on the bottom of the group, theorizes that she, Star, Kamilla, and Mitch have to initiate this revolution and vote together. Star ITMs that the other people won't see it coming because they're too big-headed. And Star tells Mary and Kamilla that Shaheen is the brain, Joe is the brawn, Eva is the heart of that team. They all kind of soft agree here to go after Joe. And Star ITMs this hilarious thing. She's like, we might not have the 300-pound biceps, but they have spirit, and that goes a long way.
Yes, all the way till one more tribal council.
Yeah.
We have our opening credits. We have 2 birds, not my creature.
Same.
We get a bombastic comedy story by Mitch about when he was a postman and he ran away from a pit bull that turned out to be tied up.
And he's rolling on the ground. He's reenacting it. This was a full-on Shakespearean performance, deserving of every accolade it gets. It was almost my play of the game.
It was so good. Mitch is unhateable, to use a battle camp term. One of the most unhateable.
He really is.
And Shaheen loves it. And Mitch is like, I didn't go to college to get attacked by a dog. And Shaheen ITMs that Mary and Kamilla are free agents, but they might wake up and realize they're outside the 4 and make a move.
Yeah. Joe then tells Mitch they should get the 6 to help everybody out. They should vote Star or Mary to keep it safe. Joe ITMs that the group with the most power is him, Shaheen, Kyle and Eva, and they've linked in Mitch and Kamilla to get a numerical dominance. And he says it's a dog-eat-dog world. You feel bad saying someone's on the bottom, but they are. Eva and Joe then agree that Star or Mary is next. Then they will go after Mitch and Kamilla. And Joe ITMs that he feels solid with his alliance. He thinks they're in a great spot. He thinks they have a shot getting to the end with it. And it does seem like they do, especially after tonight, how it ended. It's like, I think those are the final four, assuming that Mary, assuming somebody doesn't win immunity basically and force their hand in another direction.
Or Kyle make a move to keep Kamilla.
I could see that too. I think if that happens, Joe is the person they're going to come after.
I mean, if Joe loses an immunity challenge, he's going to be people are coming for him.
I think so too, but it will be hard. Eva will vote for him. So he always has that one vote. And as more and more people get kicked off, like it's going to get to a point where if you can get 3 votes, you're safe.
And Eva has, all that power too.
Yeah, all these other specials. Exactly. She could give him the idol. She could use her, or no, I guess she couldn't use her safety without power, right? That's just for her.
Only for her.
Could she give that to him?
Ooh, I don't know if it's transferable.
Yeah, I don't either.
Interesting. Well, we then see this comedy bit about Mitch snoring. And Star's super pissed. Oh,
we see a shot of 3 Dark Lords here to open this, all in bat form. This is Dark Lord Jeff Probst, Dark Lord Jesse Palmer, and Dark Lord Chris Harrison, all in bat form, hanging upside down, enjoying the warm sun of the Survivor Island. And I had no idea they were about to be my creatures. They weren't. Another creature took the cake. But this was unreal to see 3 Dark Lords in bat form, side by side by side.
Dark Lord Jeff sleeping upside down in bat form was my creature of the week.
Okay.
I got confused because I wrote sleeping bags in my note.
Oh shit! Yeah, they were sleeping bats.
I loved these bats. What a shot! Yeah, you have to be very proud of yourself if you're the B-roll person.
I agree.
It leads right into this sleeping comedy bit with Mitch. Star's really pissed. And Star tries to convince Mitch to join the revolution at the water well. And we could get 4 at a tie to avoid... and they might... Or someone might flip to avoid drawing rocks. And Mitch ITMs, if anyone else suggested it, I would consider it. But she wrote my name.
Can I ask you, what is rocks? What is going to rocks? They mentioned that a bunch, and I don't know what that is.
It's just like random chance, basically.
How does it work? Do they draw actual rocks that have like designs on them or something? And whoever gets the skull rock gets kicked out?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
interesting.
What they do when there's a tie, basically.
They make it random. More random determinations of a possible $1 million prize. All right.
I think they revote. And then if the revote is also a tie, then they have to decide unanimously. And then if they don't get it, the remaining players that are not immune, not tied, draw rocks from a bag. And the person who draws the odd color rock is eliminated.
They should do something where it's like the 2 people who have the most votes, the 2 people who it's down to, should have to tug of war or hit each other with sticks, eat a bat, something like this.
Well, they do this to get into the finals. They make fire.
Yeah.
And I think they should just make fire at all these things whenever there's a tie.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Do something. Mitch ITM's here that Star is a joke. He's like, she wrote my name down at the last fucking tribal council. What is she talking about? The core 4 then talk. Joe explains that every time he's quiet, he's holding himself back from talking, that he has things to say, but he knows that's bad gameplay. Kamilla is then walking around. She's overhearing this stuff, and she ITMs that she trusts Kyle, but she knows she's being used as just a number in their group. She doesn't trust them totally. It's not cool with her. She's not physical at all. She can get picked off or join the people at the bottom. Those are the 2 kind of outcomes she sees. I can just sit around and wait for this core 4 to eventually get to me and kick me out, or I can join with the people who are at the bottom and maybe flip this game. Star tells Kamilla. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Kamilla tells Kyle then about the revolution and says that they want Joe. And Kyle is like, me and Joe shared our mirror PTCs. It's beyond the game. I got to draw a line here and not do it. And he basically says, Kamilla, you can do it, but I need to be kept out of it and hidden from view.
But it's like game recognized game too. She's cool with that. She's like, I get it. And thank you for sharing the information. Their little secret team up, I think is like, it's the best played part of this game.
Yeah, it's the most entertaining.
It's the most entertaining because nobody knows about it. But they're also like straight with each other and they don't get butthurt when he's like, look, I get it. I can't vote against Joe. She's like, she sees the math of it. And she's like, totally. I'll do my thing. I'll do the dirty work. She even tells him, you don't have to worry about that. Like they get the game. It's beyond just a secret collusion. It's like they both understand how to play and they don't have like personal feelings involved in the play, which I love.
It's incredible. We get the next portion, day 18. It's the individual reward challenge. There's multiple part sand lanes where they got to wiggle slither through the sand like snakes.
I would have crushed this, by the way.
Carry shit with their mouths. Well, I thought you just said you wouldn't do it.
No, I would hate to be in the sand in the daytime. But had I been forced to do this when I was a child, you see, I could perform a breakdance move called the worm very well. And that's what would have been required here. Yeah, if you could do the worm.
Can you do that now?
I mean, I don't think so. I think that's an injury if I attempt it even. But if I was like in my 20s on this show or 30s even, I think I could dominate most of these things.
You know, your dad raised an Olympic athlete.
That's right. Madison Pruitt ain't seen my baseball trophy room. Hey, she. We see that the first person who's going to win this reward gets to go on a boat to a neighboring island for a picnic with fried chicken and waffles. And then he gets them all to start chanting, fried chicken and waffles, fried chicken and waffles. And then Shaheen starts freestyling. They're savory, they're sweet, they're what you want to eat. This was such a musical episode. I absolutely loved it. I'm doing this constantly throughout the day myself about various things.
And it's like, Shaheen is doing this at pretty much every challenge. He's like piping in random colorful narrator shit, and it does make him more unhateable. And he gets picked on this thing.
Yeah, totally.
Dark Lord Jeff loves the energy today. He says, this reminds me of Club Condo. Loving it.
Did he say that?
No.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I was like, what? A Club Condo reference that I missed?
No, but he was
basically, we see... I don't know if we need to go through the long and short of this.
No, we don't. Kyle wins.
Kyle wins, yeah. And he picks his three people. It's Eva, and he says she's been a big support for him in the game. He then says that he knows Kamilla hasn't eaten a lot, so he picks her. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he's telling the group.
She's had a rough time.
Yeah. Shaheen gets the final pick because he can't eat coconuts, and he's been making people laugh. Then DL Jeff says the boat is going to take you to the feast of the island. We see a new boat with a full crew of boat operators, and there is one boat operator standing at the helm, standing on the very tip edge of this boat. And this boat operator at the tip of this boat was my Jorge Moreno, bystander of the week.
The boat operator who was Titanicing was also my Jorge Moreno, bystander of the week. Clearly the star out of all the boat operators.
He is running the boat show.
Kyle's picks for the reward challenge was my play of the game. He goes through his like reasoning later, and I was just like, this is actually genius. And it's he's very, very deft at playing this game.
Yeah, and I'm changing mine. I think it's also my play of the game. I had another one that I liked, but you're right. This is a better one because the other one that I liked is like, just seems like it's treading water, which I'll talk about when it happens. But you're right about this. This was like very well thought out, The strategy of it was kind of perfect to let the other members start fighting amongst themselves, but he kept Joe there so that his side of the team will have information on what the fuck is happening with those players. Yeah, it was great. You're right. This was a great fucking play.
And Joe thinks it's genius that he's like babysitting, even though he's pissed. He like gives it to Kyle that it's like some sort of 10-dimensional chess. When really it's also isolating Joe from the others. In case
it has kind of a secondary possible effect, gives you a contingency. We then start portion 4. We see the feast. Are they drinking beers? Or is that like root beers? They have brown bottles of some kind of beer-like liquid.
They often give them like alcohol.
Damn.
Probably beer.
They ever give
Seems
you
like
weed?
A bad idea to drink that.
They should just plant weed on the island and like have that be a thing you can find also.
That I would wiggle in the sand for.
They should do weed.
Would I just get one beer that I'll probably throw up?
Yeah, exactly. I don't drink beer anymore.
Ain't worth it.
Yeah, but I will smoke that island weed. Shaheen ITMs that this is
probably like death penalty in Fiji. I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know.
They only grow heroin there. Shaheen ITMs that this is a once in a lifetime experience. They all say they can't believe they're on Survivor, and we get this kind of audience stroking that's like Survivor's amazing, which I think is great. I love that there is that kind of, it's peering through the fourth wall to be like, we are fans of this show too. And that's okay. In Survivor, you can be that. Bachelor, you can't. You almost can't even recognize that it is a TV show. No. It's like, I'm just here to find love. This is just another strange dating thing that I've agreed to. TV cameras, what?
They just want to be on a TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll never forget
come
that.
Here for the TV show.
VIP convo.
That's actually a strong experimental play. Wear like a head to toe blacked out body glove so that you can never be seen. Just a human shadow walking through The Bachelor season 30.
Like when Kim Kardashian dressed up as like Fanta Black. Black. They cheers with their little chicken legs, and they talk about getting rid of Star or Mary pretty openly.
There was a moment where Shaheen sprays whipped cream in his mouth that was extremely reminiscent of one Corinne Olympios and one Nicholas Vial in the historic season 21 of our beloved game, That Bachelor. And it was almost my faceplate, but it wasn't. And then he whips some whipped cream on Eva's head later as well, which I thought was funny.
How did I miss all this whipped cream play?
I don't know. There was a bunch of it.
Kyle in his ITM goes through his strategy of getting Mary and Star and Mitch as pissed off as possible to maybe go with Kamilla.
Yeah.
And he says that his Survivor game is in the margins, not in big moves. Survivor's won in the margins. I love this.
Is that true, though? Because I feel like at some point in Survivor, to make it to the end, and I could be wrong about this, you've got to make at least one big move at some point. You've got to totally betray somebody or do some big swing, vote in a way that's unexpected or set somebody up that doesn't expect it. You almost have to do that at some point.
I mean, as Chrissy said, you need to have a resume, but Kyle's got the resume. He's won the immunity challenges. Yeah. He has a secret alliance he can reveal at the end and say, yeah, and no one knew about this. And
yeah, if they both make it to the final 3, him and Kamilla, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
I hope they do.
Me too. And I feel like,
I hope it's them too and Eva.
Yeah. And honestly, like that secret alliance, I feel like is the exact right kind of gameplay that the jury would be like impressed by, because it's very surprising. They kept it a secret. There was obvious strategic advantage, but it didn't put them in a situation where they did have to fuck somebody over. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like it just gave them a very clear-cut way to get information from everybody in the camp. So they always, those two know more than everybody else knows at all times. And I think that information advantage is like maybe all they're going to need. I don't know. The season's crazy.
I mean, people do respect big plays too.
Sure.
Like, oh, my secret idol to get out the big target or whatever. then see Mary and Joe talking, and Joe's like, basically, I'm going to do jury management. Mary ITMs, he's doing jury management.
Yeah.
And Joe blames David leaving on Mary. Says, everyone thinks that you're the one who got him paranoid.
And Joe telling Mary that you were the real reason we kicked David off, and her explicitly saying he's doing jury management was my error of the game. The way he presented this to her was like, yeah, you're basically next, but you know, the jury's coming up, so I'm trying to make friends with everybody. He's basically saying, we're about to vote you off. She can see right through it. In her ITM, she's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And she's like,
I think it's an error, but it's not my biggest one.
Oh, interesting. It was my error of the game because I think it sets him up I mean, not that he wasn't a target before, because he's like strong and wins all the challenges and is like kind of the de facto leader of that other group. But that's just like, I don't know. It was like, you don't say this to a person that you're contemplating voting out that night, I think.
I don't see the reasoning for putting this on her.
I agree.
It's not like he's saying like, oh yeah, Star's the one who's saying that you did this. We then see Mary and Mitch chatting, and they talk about, are you willing to go to the rocks? Because we're at the bottom. And Mary's like, but you could be at the top with me and Star. And Mitch refusing to go along with the revolution because Star is involved was my error of the game. This was the chance to flip the numbers.
Yeah.
It was a chance for Mitch to get something on his scorecard other than his immunity win. And he is playing scared. And You're leaving in all the big targets.
Yeah. Even right after he says it in an ITM, he's like, I'm sick of humbling myself and just doing what people are asking me to do to be one of their numbers. I'm tired of it. And then he does literally that.
I mean, I get it. He's like, it's too early. And it's like, well, I know I'm safe through the next round, but I just think long term, I would much rather go up against Star and Mary and Kamilla than Joe and Eva and Kyle. Like,
well,
I feel like that's
like
totally
that group of four, Joe, Eva, and Kyle, like they will be the final three of that group. If everything works how they want it to work, you have no chance. So you're now playing some weird game that's like, well, maybe something bad will happen to one of them, or maybe I'll win an immunity idol, or you know, you're planning for something that is like maybe not even going to happen in the future, some unforeseen event that will alter the trajectory of this game. What he did here was just go along with their plans. I agree with you, actually. I'll keep my error where it was, but this was a bad one. I agree.
I know that. I mean, they're just going to all get picked off.
That's what it seems like.
Because those strong, hulky bulkies are going to keep winning the challenges. They win all of them.
Yep.
We then see the individual immunity challenge, the next portion. J goes, the Warriors approach.
The Warriors approach. Back when I opened Club Condo, it was a Warriors only policy. If you're not a Warrior, you don't step foot in my Club Condo. Then we also allowed in vampires. So all the Dark Lords, if you can transform into a bat, you can come through the door. Once you're inside, you can transform in any form you want, but you got to come in as a bat. It's Warriors and vampires. That's Club Condo. It's a little different now. Sorry.
No,
he takes back Joe's immunity necklace, and we see this challenge. This is the one that I was talking about. As soon as they showed this, I was like, this is fucking impossible. No one can do this. And indeed, that kind of bared out to be true.
Yeah.
Everybody, these are the notes that I had. Star immediately.
The challenge was so boring to me, I barely paid attention.
Absolutely. I paid close attention because I was like, is somebody just going to fucking knock this out in the first try? No one did. These are my notes. Star immediately dumps hers. Mary dumps hers at 3 letters. Star dumps hers again. Kyle's dumps his.
God.
Eva goes to wipe the sweat from her eyeballs and delivers my
face play of the game.
She goes, sweaty eyes. And it's kind of a full eye pained aperture, mouth open, looking down. Beautifully done. And she dumps her box. Kamilla's in the lead. She dumps it. Joe's in the lead with 5. Joe kisses his box every time we're putting them on the thing.
Don't take all these notes.
Have to. Joe then tells a fly to get out of here. This is a little precursor, foreshadowing. Then we see Kyle dumps his blocks again. Joe dumps his. Shaheen
and Joe is kissing all his blocks.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kisses it when he puts
Chemistry
it on.
play.
Yeah. Spicing things up with his block. We see Joe then speaking to his blocks. Don't you be a butt. Dark Lord Jeff just keeps marching around. Now, this is how you got to do it, everybody. It's about concentration, or is it about speed? You got to come up with a strategy and stick to it. And that's how it's Survivor. And it's like,
which
dude,
one
this is
better?
Boring as fuck. They're making this 63-year-old man high on cocaine march around in the hot sun, screaming at these people, doing nothing.
He seems to love it, though.
Oh, of course he fucking loves it. Star dumps hers. Shaheen has 1 left. Shaheen dumps his. Kyle's in the lead. Mitch dumps his. Joe is now 1 away. Star dumps hers again. Does not give a fuck at this point. She's just like over this whole fucking challenge. Kyle dumps his again. Joe gets his final block up and starts back to the platform for the win. We get this extreme close-up of Dark Lord Jeff in the form of a fly buzzing Joe's forehead, trying to break his concentration. And this fly that was Dark Lord Jeff in insect form was my creature of the week. But it doesn't work. Joe wins.
I did like this fly. It reminded me of Mike Pence. Remember that debate where there was
when he had a fly on his head the whole time? Yeah. People were like, is he a corpse? What the fuck's going on here? Joe ITMs that winning a 3rd challenge was great. He says, it's made for any dad because once your kids go to sleep, you can't wake up the sleeping bear. This is for you, Jade and JoJo. Shout out to his kids. Your dad's out here missing you. See you soon. I thought that was a great
I
little
love that he like ties it back to his familial play.
Absolutely.
We then see Star. It's going to be Star versus Mary, basically. Mitch is not going to go for Shaheen, even though he should. Continuing my error.
Yep.
And Star starts rapping, "My enemies are plotting."
Oh, this was so good. Her little rap.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're talking about?
Yes.
She did so much in this episode.
That's the title of the episode.
It was so good. But yeah, she's ITMing that her red flags are going up. And when you try to start a revolution, you have people who are scared. If you're not ready to play the game of Survivor, then you're on the wrong show, baby. You keep fighting to stay alive and you keep fighting for the $1 million prize. And then Mitch tells Kamilla he doesn't trust the core 4 or 6 or whatever it is. And Mitch ITMs a direct address to the 4th audience. For the people at home saying you have to make a move, you can't make a move with people you can't trust. Again, it's this acknowledgement.
He was talking to me.
Yeah, we're on a TV show. I know you're watching me, and I know you think I'm playing bad right now, but you don't know what it's really like because it's harder when you're here. And that, I got to say, that's true of all reality shows. I coach players to go into our beloved game, Bachelor, and some other shows at this point as well. Invariably, the people who have never been on a reality show, that like the first time they're having a camera on them is when they step out of a limo or something. Mm-hmm. They all say to a person, it's just all the shit you've thought about and trained for just kind of disappears because you're like, what the fuck is this? Once you get into the situation, there are these kind of psychological and emotional circumstantial things at play that you cannot prepare for. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Survivor has a huge amount of that shit because it's so much going on. You're not eating. It's these strangers who all smell like shit.
Not eating, the physical deliriousness that you must be in. You still have a full production crew around you. I get it, but I do think this was a missed opportunity for Mitch, regardless, in my Monday morning quarterbacking.
Of course. Like us sitting at home in the comfort of our own show, of our own home, eating potato chips and shit.
Never gone 2 hours without eating in my life.
Exactly. There was one thing that I thought was interesting we did not bring up is at the beginning of this challenge, Dark Lord Jeff had a sack of rice. And he made this offer that like 3 people can sit out and then you all get to eat the rice. And not one person took it, including Mitch, who Dark Lord Jeff went to first. And Mitch was like, I have no intent of doing this, and nor does anybody else up here. We're all here to play Survivor. We came here to win. And Dark Lord Jeff complains. When we brought this into the game in season 41, people did it. Season 42, people did it. Season 43, people did it. Season 44, they stopped doing it. And now nobody's done it since then. Why is that? And Shaheen is like,
don't take in my rice.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, this was my personal idea, and now nobody uses it anymore. You're leaving me hanging. But Shaheen lays it out. He's like, if you throw us a curveball, we'll throw you one back, motherfucker. And this is essentially a unionization play, saying this new game mechanic you're trying to crowbar into this game, fuck you. We all veto it. This is a hardcore group boycott of an entire game mechanic.
And everyone has eaten during this point, and the season is not that long. Make the season longer. Yeah. More people are going to take that right.
It should be 6
Dark
months.
Lord Jeff.
6 months in Siberia. Did they ever do one in a cold place? Or is it always tropical?
Do one alone.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much always tropical.
Well, here, Kamilla then ITMs that Mitch wants to play it safe, which means they're not going to have the numbers they need to make a move. Kamilla tells Mary that without Mitch, they don't have a chance here. And Mary doesn't think they would go to rocks for Kyle. Kamilla ITMs that she told Mary yes, but she will not go for Kyle. She doesn't trust her, and so she's going to throw Mary under the bus, is essentially where Kamilla seems to be headed here. She then goes to tell Joe and Mitch about the Mary strategy to get Kyle. Star and Mary then talk. Star explains that Mitch is not down to do their plan. They wonder what Kamilla meant by the strategy she was putting out. Mary ITMs being convinced that Kamilla and Mitch are not working with them. She and Star then talk about Mitch telling her to play her shot in the dark. And Mary ITMs that Kamilla is lying to her face. And the reality is that she and Star are in the crosshairs. They both agree they might have to vote for each other. Just a face-to-face, like, this is the game. Sorry. This is how it's going to have to be. And then Mary goes and tells Shaheen that she knows she's on the chopping block, and she tries to throw Star under the bus to live another day. Shaheen agrees with her about getting Star out, and he's like, I'm going to try to do that. Shaheen then ITMs that Mary's pitch was a good pitch. She has no shot in the dark, and that is a good reason to keep her, which Star does, right?
Yeah,
and didn't
1
play?
in 6 shot. She didn't play it.
Shaheen, I guess.
Should have.
I mean, we'll get to it. That's probably going to be my error of the game, even though I already gave it to Joe. But it's just like, I don't know. The odds of that are whatever. Shaheen tells the other core four about the Star plan. They agree. Shaheen then ITMs that Star is a loose cannon who said his name once. Star ITMs she's worried about tribal council. She is pushed to her limits, and you have to let it all out. And I love to rap, and she does this freestyle. They put a beat under it, and the freestyle is basically, my enemies are plotting on me. The entertainment value that she has brought to this season, I think it's immeasurable. Her and Shaheen are like the funniest, doing the most. Even when she's saying like these ITMs that are supposed to be serious, she's kind of smiling, and like she gets that this is like a fun reality show, no matter what the circumstance is. I absolutely love that about her. She's
using like fun turn of phrases all the time.
Yeah.
Bombastic metaphors. We then get to tribal council, and the jury come in, and everyone is looking at David, and David refuses to smile. He starts a mean mug that he will keep for the whole tribal council, and this mean mug by David was my
face play of the game.
I loved it. He was just like, it was kind of
so
like
pissed.
Zoolander-esque. He's so mad, but also he's like, put the camera on me.
I feel like he's going to go through some phases psychologically. This tribal council, he's pissed off. At the next one, he's going to be a little more calm. By the third one that he has to come to, he's going to start to recognize like, okay, they're making good plays. I have to give it to him type shit. And I think in the end, he's going to vote for whoever is the person that makes like the biggest, most drastic play that works. That's who I think will get his vote. Ultimately.
I don't know if they're not allowed to come in with drinks, but they should have them come in with milk.
At least with a milk mustache or something.
Yeah.
It's absurd. Or a t-shirt that says "Got Milk." Remember that old campaign?
Get him that shirt.
Yeah, something. Darko Jeff here asks Mitch where they should start tonight. What's going on at camp? What's going on at camp, Mitch? And Mitch is like, well, we're all trying to figure out how to individually play our games as well as move forward in these small groups. And Darko Jeff's like, well, that's contradiction, Mitch. You can't be playing by yourself and also in a small group. Those are two different things, Mitch. Mary's like, well, it's like me against the group, but sometimes I'm in a smaller group, but sometimes people in that group are part of a bigger group. And she calls the entire season a doozy, which I liked to hear. Thank you, Mary.
Doozy?
Yeah, just one of my favorite words. I like that word.
We basically get this conversation about paranoia versus trust and like which one should you pay attention to. Everyone is saying I'm in the trust category after what happened with David.
Yeah, and Chrissy, remember, Chrissy was really the first one at Tribal Council to be like, you can't trust anybody, including me. And then she had to come back to the fucking camp and be like, oh no, I'm making up bullshit at Tribal Council. None of that's real.
I'm just trying to get screen time during Tribal. Don't worry. Don't trust Tribal Chrissy. She's she's a different person.
It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Tribal Chrissy. Star calls Darko Jeff here Uncle JP, which I thought was hilarious.
Loved this.
I'm not Uncle JP. I'm the president and CEO of Club Condo. Bats and Warriors welcome. She talks about Mitch saying she should play her shot in the dark, but anything can happen. Kyle is then asked about his approach to the game, and Kyle says that Star's approach to the game. And Kyle is like, Star is so confident. She makes me feel like I'm talking to the Godfather. He forgets the second part of the question after he delivers this. And Darko Jeff's like, that's right. It's hard to hold on to a thought in the game because he knows he's torturing these fucking people. It's like, I remember one time, God, many years ago, I was compelled by someone I was dating to do a 7-day juice cleanse, to not eat for a week and just drink these 3 juices a day. And the first,
you did it?
I did it. The first
oh my God.
2 days of it were like hell. You're starving. You're like everything you see and smell. You're just like, I need to eat it. By day 3, you get a little loopy. You're almost like euphoric off the high of whatever the fuck is going on in your body. And you're not even thinking about eating. Day 4 is kind of like that. Then 5, 6, 7 are hell on earth. You can't think. It's hard to sleep. It was like, or at least for me, it was supremely difficult to get through those days. So these guys are going on.
I would be secretly eating. Like, yeah, babe, this is so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Why is there Cheeto dust around your lips? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Some Cheetos must have fallen in my mouth while I was asleep, and then I chewed them up. And oopsie. No, I didn't do. I adhered to it. I really did.
Wow. Okay. So maybe 3 or 4 day cleanse is the way to go. Just get the high.
Yeah. Get to day 4 and then just fucking shit house whatever you want, an In-N-Out burger or whatever. Any hoozle. Darko Jeff says, hard to hold a thought in the game. And then he goes to Joe. Where do you leap into the merry-go-round of thoughts, he says. And Joe's like, you can analyze it 1,000 different ways, but you have to be all in and confident in your decisions, no matter what. General saying nothing here. Mary says she's on the side of trust. She's not one of the players you can't trust. She's like, paranoia has gotten people who are not on the bottom kicked out. And they cut to a shot of Cedric and David looking at each other like, yep, that's us. But it's like, say what you will about Cedric's paranoia, I guess. David's paranoia was fucking 100% accurate. Yeah. So is that paranoia or is that just him being an astute player? Maybe it like is,
I don't know, clue.
Presented as paranoia, I guess, or the other players see it that way. But like after this show is over, like it's airing and these players are watching it back and they're seeing that like he was 100% right about Kyle and Kamilla having a secret alliance and all this shit. They have to be like, oh my God, we fucked this up.
I mean, it's right there. We see Kamilla say she's trying to not be paranoid now. Keep calm, and it's a delicate balance between who's going to threaten your game of getting to the final and who's going to threaten your ability to win if you are in the final. We then get to the vote, It is star, Mary, star, Mary, star, Mary, star, star, and stars out.
So they fix those votes, right? How they're the order in which they're
the
read.
order. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure because that seems to be that way every episode.
Yeah.
If it's a close vote, it's always alternating. So that's fake.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
And she calls him Uncle JP one last time. Hit me where it hurts, Uncle JP. Knock that bad boy out.
He loves it. I will hit you where it hurts. He snuffs out her flame and bites her in the neck, turns her into a vampire. And she flies away in the night as a bat to go to Club Condo with the other warriors. We then get the post-credit sequence. We see Eva, Shaheen, Kyle, and Joe all voted for Star, meaning Mitch, Kamilla, and Mitch, Kamilla, and...
No, Mary voted for Star.
And Mary voted for Star, sorry. So who voted for Mary? Mitch, Kamilla...
Star.
And Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And she gives her exit speech. It's a farewell rap.
Beautiful.
Which I absolutely loved.
Beautiful. Thank you for your time in Game, Star. This was definitely her shining episode, as she was mostly just floating the whole season, but
Totally.
made it very fun. And yeah. Who was your MVP?
You know, I was going to say Joe, but I think it's Kyle. Kyle was my MVP. And it's what you were talking about with his play of the game. That convinced me. I was like, you're right. That was like a really brilliant move to split the people up like that so that he could have who he needed to have there to get the final agreement to vote Star out. And then he left the other tribe there with Joe as an overseer to get the information as they were kind of talking amongst themselves and imploding a little bit.
And weakening his number one competition.
Yeah. And he was very close to winning that immunity challenge too, a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. He was also my MVP. I think he's been my MVP most of the time, more than anyone else. I just love the way he's playing the game, teaming up with Kamilla. I loved my play of the game, his challenge picks. There wasn't a clear MVP in this episode, though.
I agree. There was no
and it could be Star, even though it's not for gameplay, but just she got the most screen time.
Yeah, I agree.
Tried to do the revolution.
It was kind of it was an interesting episode. There was nothing gigantic that really happened in it. You kind of felt like from the beginning it was going to be Star or Mary going home. And indeed, that's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. There was nothing remarkable. That challenge is just kind of a bad challenge visually, I think.
Yeah.
It's too
boring.
It's slow moving and there's nothing interesting physically going on. There's no big kind of culmination at the end. It's just okay, and now you've got to be careful when you're walking backwards that you don't drop over these blocks on a little. The most interesting thing about it was the fly. Other than that,
the slow-mo fly on Joe's face.
But I assume this is kind of how Survivor goes. At this point in the game, it gets down to okay, we got to cut 2 or 3 floaters out basically who are not part of the mathematical majority. And what will be that order? And maybe occasionally one of those players can flip something or win an immunity challenge that fucks up the whole plan. But that seems probably
if you have
rare.
Strong alliances, it's unlikely.
Indeed. Nonetheless, I'm excited to see where this season goes. Hopefully, for me, this would be my most desired top 3. Kyle, Kamilla, Eva.
Me too.
I think that's
I hope that happens.
I want to see it.
I mean, if Joe doesn't win, he's gone.
Yeah.
And I would imagine he has to lose at some point.
Right.
But yeah, that's my ideal too. But my ideal often don't make it to the finals. We'll see.
But I mean, we got good odds at this point. That's 3 players out of 7 remaining. One of those 3 is probably going to be in it. At the very least. Anyways.
And Mary's got to go, I would assume.
Mary and Mitch, I feel
before anyone else.
I just don't see in those challenges, do you think Mary or Mitch is going to beat Kyle, Joe, Eva.
Unless they do one of those funky challenges that's in Mitch's wheelhouse. It's like the delivering mail challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
For this
something.
challenge, you'll each pick up a mail bag full of mail. You'll have to walk through a yard where a pit bull is waiting. He may be chained up or he may not. You have to decide if you want to run or go back to college. This is the mailbag challenge.
I mean, they might do puzzles. Like, yeah, I can't see either of them beating Kyle or Joe or Eva.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
And there's like physicality in most of the challenges.
Right. My big question, I guess, is Kamilla. Is their secret alliance at some point, like if it gets down to the final four, I don't know how that all works. Like, it's going to be hard for her and Kyle to generate a mathematical alliance unless they do it now and turn on Eva and Joe. That will like have to happen, you know? And I don't know if it will. So if that's the case, I think Kamilla's going to have a hard time. I see the top three most likely being Joe, Eva, and Kyle.
We shall see. I mean, I just think like Kyle has to come at Eva sometime, or Eva has to come at Kyle.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
And I don't know if that's going to happen.
Know. And like, are Mitch and Mary going to put something together?
It doesn't look
Probably
like it.
not.
I don't think Mitch is ever going to pull the trigger. We'll find out.
But
next
also,
week.
like, I could see Mitch or Mary ending up in the finals just if the rest turn on each other. But the way the season is going, we're not seeing a lot of alliance destruction.
Yeah.
So.
Well, time will tell. Thank you for joining us for this one. We will be back on Monday with a Digging Deeper. Some very juicy podcast clips going on.
Yes.
In the past few weeks. The Sauce Wars are alive and well. So please join us for that.
Patreon.com/Game of Roses, where we are also doing Casa Gore, finishing up Battle Camp, and then Hannah Brown's season.
And if you're in Chicago,
and we have ad-free episodes. And
this weekend, come to DePaul. See me give my... I don't even want to tell you how many slides are in this PowerPoint.
Oh, God.
It's a 60-minute presentation.
Do you have a plan? Oh, my God.
Let's just say there's more than 60 slides.
Oh, my God. I hope you have a plan for going fast through some of them. Or
Oh, yeah. Some of them are like literally going to be on the screen for 2 seconds. They're like jokes.
You should do what Erica did in My Wedding Toast, where it's just like one name on one slide.
It basically is.
It's pretty funny.
I'll give you a little preview. I'm basically saying Bachelor's a sport. And so I'm like, and so how do we compare it to other sports? And then I go, baseball has click a baseball. And it's just a picture of a baseball. And then I go,
nice.
Basketball has a picture of click a basketball, or basketball uses a basketball. Football uses a football. And then click Bachelor uses, and then it's a picture of Pilot Pete with a rose in his mouth. And then I go into like what the roses mean and all that type of shit. So many of them will be, shuffled through in quick succession. They're kind of just visual jokes in a lot of cases, but a lot of it is clips. No clip is over a minute. They're all around like the 30 to 40 second range of different scenes throughout history that illustrate like the first Grandy is in there, some famous one-on-ones and two-on-ones and 4TRR accusations and 4TWR and love levels and just all the different kinds of things that are parts of the games, but really showing what I think are like at least my favorite examples, if not the best overall examples of certain of these things.
I think you're going to crush it.
Yeah, it should be
You're
fun.
going to mold young minds. Maybe even get some applicants out of the audience.
Oh,
that would be cool.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Good
Thanks for joining
luck,
us.
Chad.
Thank you.
And praise be Dark Lord Uncle Jeff, Uncle JP.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.